So the four of us here at Irvin Gaming decided to get together and film a special game for our 300 subscribers that we now have. And thank you to all of you. So yeah, we got together, we played 2,000 points, roughly. We each brought 750 points and then chucked in a Panzer IV or a Sherman. Unfortunately, the majority of our footage was corrupted, which is frustrating. Because the game lasted about 7 hours in real life, and I had about 2 hours of footage, which would have made it the largest video on my channel. So instead, what I've opted to do is put together some photos of the game and narrate kind of a little bit about what happened for your viewing pleasure. So I'll start off with my army. This is what I brought to the table. 750 points of Fallschirmjäger and a regular Panzer IV Ausführung J from the 21st Panzer Division. The entire army was veteran, except of course for the Panzer IV, and they for the most part performed quite well. The two squads at the front each have one LMG and one assault rifle on the NCO. The one on the left has a Panzerfaust. The 7-man squad up the back is all FG-42s. With one Panzerfaust, and then we got the medium mortar, the recoilless medium artillery, Panzerschreck, and an officer. So here's the other German force that was brought by Dom. He had a handful of SS squads mixed between regular and veteran, a flamethrower team. I think the squad on the far right is a Panzer Pioneer squad, and then he had a Lux and a Panzer IV. This here was Brody, also known as Arcadia Miniatures Army. He effectively brought the same army that he brought to the last battle that we played on the channel, although slightly smaller. 75 Sherman up the back, a medic, inexperienced officer, 3 veteran squads with a BAR, an LMG, and some Tommies, mortar team, and a Jeep. Then, last but not least, we had Callum from Theatre of Wargaming's force. He brought glider troops instead of airborne troops. He also brought a pair of regular Shermans, a Jeep with a 50 cal, some light artillery, and a bazooka team. I think his boys were veteran, though they could have been regular. So here's a shot of the table from above, and you can kind of get a view of what we tried to do. We tried to recreate the town of Karatan, or close to anyway. I'm not sure if the SS were at Karatan, but there was definitely airborne versus Fallschirmjäger action, so that's kind of what we were aiming for. Dom and I discussed our plan before the game and decided to split the table in two. I'd take care of the left-hand side and he'd take care of the right. You can see here Brody's Americans as well as Callum's Americans both advanced up the left. Towards my Panzer IV and the majority of my Fallschirmjäger. We did take the center of the table quite convincingly and quite early, and we held it up until the very last dice pull of the game, which ended up losing us the game. Yeah, unfortunately for us Germans, we just pushed and couldn't push hard enough, and we got bogged down with pins and unable to get to our objectives, which had unfortunately for us been closer to the American side of the board. So the Americans really had a real advantage in that they just came on, captured the two objectives closest to them, and then just sat on them. Yeah. There's Dom's Panzer Pioneers advancing up the road. This squad here is ended up being the squad that won the game for the Americans. On 6 pins and completely outmanned with only 4 of them left, they took on a assault rifle fanatic SS squad in combat in a building and won. Thanks for watching, and apologies that, yeah, this is not the full game. There are many hours of work that went in, and this is all we've got to show for it, unfortunately. But please like and subscribe and comment down below what you'd like to see, and if you'd like to see the Fallschirmjäger some more.